so I'm working on putting this new oil pump together, and it comes already assembled. And for some reason right here, just like the factory, they use a Phillips head screw, and it freaking strips out every time. Makes me so mad. So now I have to get a drill and drill it out, just like I did the other one, and put it with what they should have put from the factory in there, which is one of these. You know, so you can get some actual torque on it. Like, I wasn't even being stupid with this. Like, I got the biggest one that would fit in there and put all the pressure I could against it, and the stupid thing still stripped. Piece of junk. But whatever, just gonna drill it out and move on. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. It really pisses me off. Alright, got that stupid crap drilled out and got the top off the oil pump, whatever. And so now I can get this gear out right here and put the stubby shaft in it. And I got a new bolt because the other one was shredded. I'm going to put a ridiculous amount, not enough to spill out, but a ton of the heavy duty red Loctite on it and torque it down real tight. It's supposed to be 37 foot-pounds. I'm probably just going to do 40 because I do not, you know, that's what caused this whole thing. And I don't want to deal with it again, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, got my new bolt in here. Sadly, it didn't have the same design as the other bolt. The other bolt had like a washer built into it. So I just put a washer on it, and I had to drill out that washer a little bit because it was too small. But anyways, made it work. Put a ton of super red Loctite on there and got this thing all torqued down. So this thing is finally ready to go, and I can move on to the next thing. So I realized I'm a clown and I had the stubby shaft backwards in that thing, but got it flipped around, got it torqued down, and now it's all in there, it's clean, and I'm about to put the front case back on and torque it down, but I gotta go get some Loctite, so do that, get back on it. Oh, and I almost forgot, you want to put engine assembly lube on these dudes so that they don't shred each other from trying to start with no oil in them. So yeah, got those all lubed up, and now I'm gonna put the oil pump together. Okay, so this front case is, you know, 98% ready to go. I went ahead and Loctited and torqued all the bolts down for the oil pump, and then did the same for the bolts for the pickup. It's all cleaned up and ready to go. And then I put RTV and put this plug on here. This is where the other balance shaft goes if you were to run them. I'm not, and I just took this plug off of the old case because it's a rubber plug, and you know, it doesn't warp or anything. At least mine hadn't. So put some RTV on the outside of that and put it in. Now all I need is the castle plug that goes right here and the seal, and those are supposed to come in today according to the FedEx website, so we'll see about that. But yeah, that's ready to go. It came with the gaskets and everything, so I've actually got the gasket down here sitting on the dowels, and it's ready to go. So yeah, as soon as that castle plug comes in, I can start throwing this thing together, do the timing. I'm better at this timing than I actually care to be, because I had to do it so many times. But yeah, not a big deal. And then I got these flanges all cut out for the exhaust, so I'll just weld them in and put some bolts in instead of using the band clamps that I've been using that have such an exhaust leak. So that'll be good. This thing is slowly coming together, and I still need to work on that shifter in there, but we'll get to that. Alright, so we got the new castle plug seal in, and I was about to put the new one in, and in fact I did. And I was spinning the pump, and it didn't seem like anything was making contact, but basically let me show you what worries me. Here's a bolt with the same size head as the new bolt that we have on the stubby shaft. And here's the new castle plug, and hard to show you, but it does actually fit and spin without making contact if it's perfectly in the middle. And the way that everything is in here, you know, I don't think there's going to be side to side play in the oil pump, so it probably would be fine, but I don't feel like taking chances with it. So I'm going to put the new one to the side, and I actually got the old one out, and since the edge of it was already narfed up, I didn't feel bad about just cutting it short. So as you can see, I cut it down a decent amount shorter while still leaving some threads on it. And I also took a Dremel and widened out the middle just a little bit so that the bolt fits in there a lot better. And the bolt is kind of recessed in the hole a bit, so I feel pretty comfortable with this. Put some thread locker on the threads. I'm going to put some RTV under the cap here and put her on and throw this thing in the car. Okay, another little update here. I kind of got in the zone and stopped filming, but basically we got the front cover on, and then I got all the pulleys and gears and stuff on, and went ahead and put the timing belt on, did the timing. I was trying to get it done before I went to bed, because last night my wife was here to help me do the timing. It's way easier to do with 2 people, and this morning she's gone, so I'm able to continue working because the timing is done. But anyhow, whenever I put the front cover on, I went ahead and put the oil pickup tube on, and because I did that, I had to just put the oil pan loosely on the bottom here. So now I need to put some RTV on the oil pan and put it up and torque the bolts down, even though they're hardly torqued at all. It's like 5 foot-pounds. But yeah, need to do that. And then I need to plumb up lines like the oil and coolant lines and all that good stuff. So gotta do that, and then put an oil filter on, double check everything, then put oil in it and try and start it and see what happens. Alright, so just finished getting all the lines for everything connected. I still need to do this oil feed line right here, but that's super easy. But I'm talking about all these like coolant lines for the, for the oil cooler. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a filter on there. Now I've got these lines in, and then the oil drain line from the turbo. Sorry, my nose is stopped up. Let's see. So you can see it. Can't really see it, but the oil drain line for the turbo back there, I got it. And so now I technically can put oil in it and start it, but I'm gonna wait and let all the RTV and stuff on the oil pan set for a while. So I'm gonna work on something else, which is the exhaust. So I think I mentioned it earlier, but I'll go ahead and tell you again what I want to do. The exhaust is currently held together by 2 of these band clamps, and they pretty much suck. They let all the exhaust out, so I'm going to weld up some flanges and then have actual flanges for exhaust, and hopefully that will eliminate some of the exhaust leak and it will be less noisy. Basically less noisy in the cab is my goal. So going to take that off and weld up a flange, tack it, and then I'll get up top and move the lines and take this pipe out so that I can lay down some proper beats. And I'll do the same thing. I'll do the same thing over there, because that was just a band clamp holding the end of the exhaust on too. So yeah. All right, finally got the down pipe out. My amazing welds. So basically, I'm just going to weld a flange onto here, and then I'll weld a flange onto that pipe that's up in there, that pipe right there. And then let's see. There's a couple of small holes here and there. I'll probably just go ahead and fill up. Didn't do the best job welding this up, but I'm not a welder. And, I mean, it does work, so just trying to make it a little bit quieter. So that's what we're gonna do, and weld flanges all up on it, and then put it back up on the truck, and we'll be good to go. All right, so we got flanges welded up with my ugly welds, but they'll hold. Flanges welded up on all of the exhaust, so I'm gonna throw it back on the truck and see how it looks. All right, got the exhaust back on the truck with the let me get somewhere where you can see it. Got the actual flanges bolted up, one right there, one right here, if you can see it or not. She's there. So the thing feels really solid. It's definitely not going anywhere. Before, like, swayed around a lot, but now super solid, ain't going nowhere. So yeah. And now I'm just connecting things back up here. I got the radiator hoses connected back and oil lines and stuff like that. Put an oil filter on it. So now I'm about to just fill it with oil and crank it for a while to get oil going through the new pump, and then I'll try and start it and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully goes well, because it would be really a shame if this blew up right now, but I think it'll be fine. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll see what it does and how it sounds, and then if it sounds good, we'll put it all back together and go from there.